What's the most people you think you've played in front of? Like record?
I would probably say it would have to have been like the Under Armour game because there were a good amount of people there and they brought like the football guys, like the football team was doing the same thing we were, but that plus how it was televised, it was probably.
Do you want to be the #1 recruit in the nation like Harper Murray? Well, you better get on over to one of our 3 camps. This summer, we're going on tour once again. 2023 summer tour includes 3 camps: North Carolina, Iowa, and Sacramento. All info down below in the bio. Click the link. Go to our website. All right, let's get to the episode. Be like a show. Welcome back to that episode. If you can't handle the heat, it's your boy G Swizz. To my left here, Jokesy. How we doing? I'm doing well.
Well, Micah can't join, but don't worry. We have a special guest on tonight. She was a top high school player in 2022, a.k.a. the Player of the Year. Just started her college career at Nebraska. The Harper Murray. Thank you, Harper, for coming on. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. Yeah, go Big Red. First of all, you just got back to Hawaii.
From Hawaii.
From Hawaii. My bad. How is that like weather change? We're still dealing with it over here. We're in Germany, and
Yeah.
It's a brutal switch up, I will say.
Yeah. I mean, it was nice to get away, but I'm used to the cold because I'm from Michigan, so I know what it's like to go from hot to cold, but it was great getting away. And our spring break is a little bit earlier this year than usual, so it was a change, but it was really nice to get away.
That's sick. And you're from Michigan, yeah?
Yeah.
So you're used to that cold, yeah?
Yeah. I'm from Ann Arbor where the university is, so I'm used to the snow and the wind and everything
So did it ever feel like you had like pressure to go to Michigan?
all the time. But my sister goes there. She's a junior. And then my dad played football there. So there's a lot of connections
Gotcha.
relating to that school. But, obviously throughout my recruiting process, like I realized that it was just not the place for me, and that's fine. Like a lot of my friends go there for school. So I'll still see all of them when I go back home. But volleyball wise, it wasn't what I was looking for.
It's good. It's actually a perfect transition because I wanted to kind of talk to you about the recruiting. My brother, I don't know if my brother told you, we both played at University of Hawaii, so we know decent well about like at least men's recruiting. But in terms of girls recruiting, there's like different rules. Um,
Mm-hmm.
when are they allowed to start recruiting you guys?
So I started talking to schools in eighth grade, but then around like March or April, the rules changed. So then I got like 3 or 4 offers in eighth grade, and then all communication was cut off for 2 years. And then I talked to them on June 15th going into my sophomore year. So it wasn't like that originally, but then they changed it 4 years ago or so.
If All right, let's say the rule didn't change, right? You're in eighth grade.
Yeah.
Do you think you were able to make that decision, or would you have made the right decision? You feel, or like what is that? Like I could only imagine like eighth grade. Like oh my god.
I mean, I feel like the point of the rule change was to prevent like transfers later on, just because like
Mhm.
young girls deciding that like where they want to go to college that young. But I mean, I personally feel like I probably would have made the right decision just because I knew really at a young age, like I kind of knew what I wanted. But for some other girls, like it probably wouldn't have gone that way. But I feel like I made the right choice. I would have.
Got you. So what were your like top schools that you were choosing between?
Um, Nebraska, Texas, Wisconsin, and then I put Michigan in there just because I felt like it needed to be at points.
Right.
But for the most part, like my top two were usually Nebraska and Texas. It went back and forth between those two a lot.
Got you. And then so how many you went on 4 recruiting trips?
Not even, I only took one visit, which was here.
You
Yeah.
didn't
So
even go to Michigan?
no.
Oh my god, that's
I
so
mean, like
brutal.
I I mean in eighth grade I had a couple offers, but then just the way that it kind of lined up with like my schedule of all my recruiting calls and then my high school season and then USA, I just honestly didn't have time at all. And I did go to Michigan camps growing up. Like I always
Mhm.
went to their like team camps over the summer, but I never took an official anywhere but here.
Got you. So
You
okay,
gotta, you gotta, you gotta dance the dance a little bit. You gotta go, make them seem like you're interested and get the free dinners and
dangle the
stuff.
carrot.
I
Steak
know.
dinners.
I always tell people now like just take as many as you can because like
Yeah.
it's worth it. Yeah,
Like
just to see new places.
Joe over here went to Ohio State. He had no plans going to Ohio State. He just wanted to go to a football game on the field, and he took it, and he was on the field, and he was like, "Yeah, one of the best trips ever." For me, I chose. So, like I said, I went to Hawaii. By far, my worst recruiting trip. I actually got in a screaming match with with the coaches there. Actually, not a scream, but it was an argument and everything like there. And the school where I had the best visit, BYU, I had no intention of going.
Yeah.
So I want did they roll out the red carpet for you at Nebraska, even though they knew you were coming? Like, what is it?
Walk us through that.
Yeah.
The recruiting trip.
I was like the first official of that year. So my official was it wasn't like wonky, but it was kind of like really unplanned, and we're just gonna do this and do that, and we're just gonna go with it, which was fine because I had a great visit. But looking back on it, if I would have taken like my visits to Wisconsin, like I probably would have had a way harder decision to make, just because I feel like whatever school I was last at was going to feel like the right choice. And that was kind of like the hard part with like talking to coaches, because I'd get off the phone and I'm like, oh, I want to go there. But then I'd talk to a new school and then it would change. But my visit at Nebraska was great. And like I knew Allie and Kennedy in the past just because they were closer to my sister's age. So I knew them. And then a lot of the older girls just like I watched growing up. So it was really cool to be with them there and like see what their life is like. So I wouldn't say it was rolled out for me, but I think that the connections I had to the players before really helped my visit, just because I already felt like I knew them.
Got you.
I had a question about like you obviously starting at Nebraska early, because you just graduated high school in December.
My high school was on trimesters, so I was done in November, and I was just like chilling at home for like 2 months before I got here. Yeah, and my friends were like back in school.
I didn't know that was a thing in high school. Trimesters in high school.
So that's not like a normal thing, right? Like that, like I've seen that for like different sports, but never. I don't think volleyball. Maybe I'm wrong.
When did you plan to do that?
Plan to come early.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I knew whatever school I ended up going to, I was gonna go early. So it was planned like from the start. Like whenever I committed, that kind of was just set in place. Like, okay, I'm gonna go early, so I have to start planning my classes and all that stuff. But trimesters are a little weird. Like I don't know of any other high school that are on trimesters. So when I got done with school over Thanksgiving break, my friends went back to school like a week later, and then I was just like at home doing nothing basically for a month and a half before I moved here.
It doesn't count towards your indoor eligibility, right? Just your beach.
I'm not sure, because I was allowed to play beach right when we got here, because we started end of January. And then indoor, I'm not sure, honestly.
And with your club career, apologize for my ignorance. Did you win any national championships?
Pipeline.
I won 2 national championships, my 16s and 17s year.
Is it USA or AAU?
It was AAUs, and then at USAV we got third like once or twice, and then my 17s year was kind of it was really bad because we all got like hurt in like our last game and we ended up like losing. But I won 2 national championships at AAUs, 16s and 17s year.
So is USA or AAU like bigger for guys? Right now it's AAU over USA.
I would say for girls, I mean, if you want high level volleyball 4 days straight, every single game, probably USA. But AAU is still pretty good, but it usually takes like, you have to get into the gold bracket for it to really be like a high level match. Got you.
So another process, like I said, you've been part of a lot of really cool teams, processes that very envious. So I have a lot of questions about these. Yeah. So you're part of the Under Armour All-American team and games. Can you, from beginning to end, can you tell me, okay, how do you get the invitation? And then once you get the invitation, what do they do? What are the games like? And then just kind of from there through.
So the game was in December, and I got the invitation to go like almost a whole year before in March. So I went to do you guys know V-Ball Recruiter? That lady, the red hat. Yeah. So she like reached out to my mom because a lot of me and my teammates have gotten invited to those camps to go, but I was just kind of like, I'm not going to go to that camp because I felt like it was just like I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be like the best volleyball. So I was like, why would I go? But she reached out and told me that if I went, like, she wants me to be there so I can get my invitation to the game. So that like all got planned out. And so I went to the camp, got my invitation, and then honestly, like, didn't hear anything about it until probably summer, because that's when we had to start like booking airfare and all that stuff. But we got there and it was just like exploded with like gear and cameras and media. And it was honestly really cool. I was only there for 3-4 days, but it was honestly probably some of the best couple days of my life. Like all those girls that I was with, some of them were on my USA team, some of them I've just played against in club, but it was so fun. And the game, it was a little bit nerve-wracking just because like there's so many cameras, like more than I've ever seen before. So we knew that we just had a lot to like, we had to show up, so, but it was super fun.
Are you talking about like cameras during the match or off the court as well?
Both, like just photographers everywhere. They always want you to like do stuff for the cameras. So it was a lot more social than people probably thought, but it was super fun.
Well, now you're part of Big Red, so you got even more social.
No.
So because all of a sudden, first off, before we first heard of you, or not heard of you, but we first came across your page, I was scrolling through TikTok. I was like, oh, and then she's at Nebraska. I was like, oh, wait, where do I know her from? And our mom sent us an article that because half our guests on this show are our mom. Shout out to mom out there. She's like, oh, number one recruit goes to Nebraska. I was like, interesting. And then you popped to my TikTok. Maybe TikTok's looking at my emails. Whatever. I don't care. Don't ban it.
Don't tell the U.S. Senate.
And so they was like, oh, snap. So now, oh, yeah, this is what I want to get into, too, as well. This will be a good leap here. So obviously you're in Nebraska. They have a great Instagram and TikTok following.
Yeah.
Do you think and I'll get into my points for you in a second here. Do you create more TikToks because of that environment, or is it more fun? You're like, oh, let's just do this, or more than high school?
I mean, I think like making TikToks in the locker room like definitely helps a little bit.
Oh yeah, team camaraderie.
But they teach us a lot about like building our brand and videos and social media and all that stuff. So like I knew coming in, like Nebraska had a big following and that all that goes with it. But I mean, I wouldn't mind like making a TikTok in the locker room and knowing it's gonna get a lot of views. Like it's entertaining that way. Yeah, so it's cool.
So do you
gritty?
do you guys ever gritty in your videos? It's something that me and my brother have been doing a lot in our videos.
Lindsay Krause always says stuff like that. She's always doing that. She's so funny.
What are we gritting? Well, all right.
Collab with her.
So yeah, we have to. Those are our kind of people right there. So so with that being said, Nebraska, I don't know if it's true. And like you said, in terms of NIL, because we talked to Nick Lim Haynes and stuff, Nick with NIL and with like social media, you guys have like an agent, or no, not Nebraska has like a center, or for volleyball players, basketball players, and football players, right? That they're like that are in charge of NIL and like social media and whatnot. Is that true or no? Or maybe
We have Open Doors. Is that what you're talking about?
Could be. Oh, so how does Open Doors work?
Open Doors is like you can go on Open Doors and you can like find deals and then you have to disclose them, that type of stuff. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but we do have like a life skills section in the stadium that like helps us with our brand and that type of stuff. But we have a compliance office.
Okay. So when you were in high school, were you allowed to do NIL deals?
I wouldn't say no, but NIL wasn't a thing really until the past like year or two. So I only did like stuff for the gym that I worked out at, and then I did like a couple of small things, but overall like it wasn't really that popular for me in high school, and I don't think that like in Michigan it was technically allowed yet. So I didn't do much, but it was like little things.
But now you're in Nebraska. I bet it's pretty cool. Now it kind of opened the floodgates. So that's sick. Hey, good for you. Good for you.
Thank you. I mean, it opens a lot of doors once you get here. So I'm sure like once we get into indoor too, it'll get a little bit more busy. But they open a lot of doors as soon as you get here.
What's one company you're like, please email me?
There's a couple, like I really like I love Lululemon, but that's kind of a stretch just because like it's Lulu. But I
Aloe or
really like
Lulu?
at like both, honestly. I love
Really?
both. And
You
like
would choose Lulu
Adidas
though?
probably. Yeah.
Okay.
But Adidas would be cool too. I know Nickelin did like the shoe thing, so
I
I'm
was gonna
hoping I can
say.
do something like that
That's what I
someday.
was
But
gonna say.
yeah.
You gotta be. That's gotta be the first answer. Adidas. You gotta get that Nickel and Haynes shoe.
Yeah.
You got your own shoe like that. When she said she had her own shoe and she had her whole campus walking around in them, I was like, God damn, good for her. That's what
Yeah.
you need to do. I mean, not. I'm sure opportunities will come your way. So
Yeah.
we were talking about TikTok a little before. So, hey guys, sorry to interrupt, but I just got to tell you about our sponsors and friends. AllVolleyball.com, the number one volleyball retailer in the nation. Okay? Whether you are a club player, whether you're a coach, whether you're the number one volleyball recruit in the nation, you still need volleyball gear at the end of the day. You can't play without shoes. You can't play without knee pads. You can't play without a jersey. And guess what? Our friends and sponsors, allvolleyball.com, have that. Okay? Click the link in the bio. Use the promo code HEAT, HEAT, all capital. Link in the bio for 20% off. Okay, let's get back to the episode. I'm scrolling through TikTok, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just see, like, in the hallways, they're just, like, high school. And people are just in the middle of hallways just doing dances all over. I'm like, what is high school become nowadays? Is it like when you walk through hallways, is it like that? Because like I said, we're overseas. We don't really see. In club tournaments, is it the same way where everyone's just in the hallways, ref breaks and all that? Do you just see it just everywhere now? Like just stuff like that?
I mean, I see at club tournaments, I see girls making TikToks all the time. So that's like a little bit more normal. I would say in high school, you definitely see some people making videos, but I would say like those kids probably get more made fun of rather than like at a club tournament. Because club tournaments, like everyone's just off reffing or doing whatever.
Right.
So it's more normal to see just girls like walking around goofing off. But high school, I wouldn't say it's still like that. It's a little, you definitely see people make TikToks, but not like that.
That's true.
Gage
Yeah.
is quitting through the whole.
Just kids great. I was like, yeah, because I go through, I'm like, what does this world come to? I don't know. But then again, we have no room to talk at the same time. I get that. I totally understand that. Well, that's sick. That's sick. We have a few more questions for you here. So we can talk a little more about volleyball. Let's talk. We talked enough about Gwitties and whatnot and TikTok. So have you always been taller for your age?
I would say, yeah, above average, but I feel honestly small here. Like I'm 6'1" and I feel tiny compared to like Allie and Lindsay. So
you say
yeah.
Nebraska's lying? They say I have you at 6'2", and I could pull up the
Okay.
roster.
Okay, with tennis shoes on, I am probably 6'2", but
Not just
barefoot-
any shoes. Nickel and Haynes
The
shoes.
Nickel and Haynes.
Nickel and Haynes shoes, you're 6'2".
The Nicklin ones.
okay, with
Sorry to be
shoes
cut you off
on,
there.
I'm 6'2". I promise that, but without them, I still feel tiny.
But I feel like it's tall for an outside hitter, no? Like for women's, how tall is like I feel like that's a pretty good height for a women's outside hitter.
I would say, yeah. Allie's just like 6'4", so she's just like
Sure.
towers over me, but I would say that's average for an outside hitter, yeah.
A gentle giant. So from a young age, did coaches try and put you in the middle at all or somewhere else where you're like, I don't like this?
I used to be a setter, I never played middle, but I did set, and I wish I still set. I love setting.
What's the hardest position?
I would say between a middle and a setter. It depends on like what you're looking at it from. I think IQ wise, a setter is probably harder, but I think middles like have to do the most and move around the most.
For 3 rotations. Only 3 rotations though.
What's the easiest position?
Mm,
I'm libero, by the way, so keep that in mind. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
Opposite. A lot of people say that, but
Hey, I'm
Yeah.
happy. I'm not gonna
opposites
cry
get
my.
paid the most.
That's true, and I'm not gonna cry myself to sleep tonight. So thank you for that answer. a few other like common or just kind of rapid fire questions that we have for other people, especially at tournaments, is for example, I ask people what's their most toxic volleyball trait. For me, if I lose, I'm usually a very happy, very go lucky guy, but if I lose, like I won't talk to fans, I won't talk to anyone. I just leave. So like for example, I get people like just DMing me like you're like super angry and unsympathetic. I'm like, caught me at the wrong time. I don't know. So what is your most toxic volleyball trait?
Honestly, I don't even know if I have one. Like after I would probably agree with you. After I lose, I'm super mad, but like I'll still talk to people. I don't think I have one.
I don't know. It sounds like
I have like icks about volleyball though. Like I hate when setters dump. Like that makes me really mad.
what? What? You're a setter. Wait, are you telling me you never dumped as a setter?
I didn't like play at I wasn't a setter at a high enough level to like have a good dump. Or like
So-
barely know what that is. Like I was a setter at like 12s and 13s.
So what is the why does that upset you that setters dump?
Most of the time it's outside's fault.
It's the outside's what?
It's their fault. Like I would say like when a setter dumps, like I always want to take it, but it's half the time like going between the middle and the libero. Like it's
Oh, you
just-
hate when they dump against you.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about your setter. I'm like, what if you're? Because this is the argument. For people who don't like setters who dump, I'm like, if the setter is attacking like 50% or 60%, there's nobody else on the court who spikes that high.
Yeah.
It's like it's just, but in dumping against you, okay, that I'm glad we clarified that.
So
Yeah.
what's the there's your icks. What's the opposite of an ick? Yummy. I don't know. Like what? I don't know. Like what do you think the best for you? The best feeling in volleyball is?
Best feeling. I would say either winning or getting a solo stuff.
Oh, the solo block.
Solo.
Have you been to a Nebraska game before?
I have. I've been to one,
How was
which is
that?
not a lot. I feel like I should have gone to more, but I went on my official. So
True.
Could have went to Wisconsin. Could
Coulda-
have went to Michigan and Texas game.
And could have on the football field like Joe here. but also true. But it's better that way. Maybe it's like then you're on the court and you're like, whoa. Like what's the most people you think you've played in front of? Like record.
I would probably say it would have to have been like the Under Armour game because there were a good amount of people there and they brought like the football guys, like the football team was doing the same thing we were, but that plus how it was televised, it was probably that game because my high school games were just, in like gyms and there weren't like televised or anything. So I would probably say the Under Armour game.
Now it's gonna be 83,000.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I did not mention that.
We're gonna be there.
Are you? Well, we're setting a team. We're not gonna actually.
We
If we were there, our goal would be to somehow get in the court, get kicked off. I don't know. There goes Gate. Like, and you're gonna remember. You're gonna be like, that was the Gwitty guy who told me he was gonna come on the court and get. But are you like? First of all, is win not gonna be a factor there? But are you guys excited? Like your first Nebraska game is gonna be in front of 83,000 people.
Well, we have a scrimmage against Wichita State at the end of the month, and then we have a game I think we have a scrimmage against Creighton. So we'll play a little bit before that, but like it could easily get screwed over by the weather. So you never know, but they're having a concert after the game. So they're trying to get like so many college students, like it's us, UNO, and I think Creighton. So they're having a concert right after the game. So all the students get in for free. So there's going to be like a bunch of people there. Even if they're not there for our game, they'll be there for the concert, which will count.
which concert?
They won't tell us. It's like
What?
some country. Yeah, it's some country artist, and they won't tell us who.
Oh, Jake will go for sure.
Yeah. Dang, I thought it was gonna be Tekashi 6ix9ine coming out. Little Yachty. But all right. So wait a minute. So you're practicing indoor when you're practicing beach at the same time. What's your daily schedule?
No, so we just during beach, like it's strictly beach. We have lift and then beach practice, and then our first practice for indoor was last week. So we just started indoor, but we have lift in the morning. You can go anytime between 7 and 10, and then I have class in the middle of the day. But then after that, I usually have to be at our gym by 2 or 3.
With Coach God.
With Coach God. By the way, we call your coach Coach God. I don't know if you know why, because we took a tour there with Jalen, and you guys it was empty, but the arena, but there were office members there, and the way they talked about John Cook, and I'm sure it's deserved, They're like, yeah, coach likes this. So, coach didn't like the color of the sky, so we decided to change it. Coach didn't like this, so we did that. We actually just ripped this whole place. This is a cemetery. We just ripped them out and just, but like the way they would talk about your coach was like, he's immortal. And like I said, he is immortal in Nebraska, and he should be. Actually,
what if for recruits, they just send them our video of their facilities. Here's our facilities. They'd be like, what on?
No, but that's awesome. That's all. Coach God definitely deserves that for sure. So, what is the biggest thing you've noticed in terms of like the play that's like really different?
I would say just how strong everyone is. Like, I knew coming in that the speed and how strong everyone was going to be different than high school and club. That was expected. But to actually get a ball hit at you, that's just like you hitting it yourself. It's a different type of like play. And I would say the serves are a lot faster, which is expected, but it's a lot harder to pass. So I would say the speed and just like the ability of everyone that they have, like everyone is so versatile. So it's just, you really have to find your spot. But I think I'm doing a decent job. I've only been doing it for a week now, but overall, like it's been super fun. Indoors been everything I expected.
And how many people do you have on the team right now?
We do not have that many. We have no seniors. So we have, I think, 12, 13.
That's actually perfect, though. I've always noticed that. Well, actually, you've only really been part of a club team or Team USA right. So that's normal for you. But we had people at Hawaii one time. We had, I think the record there at Hawaii is like 24, 25. And half those guys are they're mopping the floors during practice. No joke. Or doing scoreboards or keeping stats, And so so 12 and 13 is actually, I mean, sometimes if you don't have a lot of depth in those positions, it can get a little tricky. But that's actually not a bad thing, It's good.
Yeah, it's not. It's just like it's compared to last year. We have no seniors, so it's a lot smaller than what they're used to. But then next year we have 3 girls coming in, so it'll be back to like more of a normal roster number.
Got you. Last couple questions before we let you go here. You talked about last year. Last year you guys lost in round of 16, was it?
Yes. Oregon.
Round 16. Oregon. Brooke Nunneveller, friend of the show. Can't be mad at that, at the same time. But at the same time, we are big Red fans.
Go Big Red.
Go Big Red. Actually, that's not true. I picked that's a long story. But yes, we are at the end of the day. But are you guys looking to a little redemption? Go 3 more rounds?
You talk about it a lot?
It is talked about a lot. Like before each practice, we always watch like a 20, 30 second like motivational clip. But I think internally for everybody, that's a goal that they have, no matter if it's talked about or not. So that's obviously something that like the freshman class is trying to bring in, just because we have so much it's like a set of fresh eyes for everybody, and there's so many of us. So we're hoping to get there.
Yo. I'm so sorry. I'm telling Joe, if you ever need a motivational clip, 30 seconds, you let it know. We'll make it. I'm sorry. As soon as you said motivational, like every practice, I was like, all right, I was doing the math in my head. That's like 200 something, maybe 365 motivational speeches. There's got to be one day where maybe they need a little something, and that's where we come in, and maybe we give you a motivational speech.
Tell J. Ray we'll come.
Tell J. Ray I'll fly out there for 20, 30 seconds. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry to interrupt you there. Any last question, Joe, before we let her off here?
No, I'm excited to see the Nebraska team, though. We're gonna have some people present for that match. I expect a sky ball out of you, though.
Ooh.
When you guys are playing outdoors, we need to see one sky ball.
That's true.
Okay.
I'm expecting it. All right, with that being said, hey, thank you again for hopping on. And to those out there listening, just remember, if you can't handle the heat, goddamn kitchen. This has been another episode presented by allvolleyball.com.